How's it going, everybody? My name is Harchan Singh, and welcome to this new segment. This is going to be like a podcast vlog series where we discuss different topics like personal finance, how to invest, and different tips and tricks you will need to become wealthy that involve discipline but strategy. So today's video is based off 5 ways that we can kind of help you make money while you're still enrolled in college. And by we, I mean give you the idea so you can go execute. Some of these do require special things like a car or, basically that's it. Some of them require a car. But there are some other alternatives where you can use the resources that you have otherwise. But let's go ahead and start with the first one. So if you have a vehicle and you're staying somewhere on campus, chances are you're probably not going to be using the vehicle as much as you think you will. And there are going to be many days where it just sits in the parking lot or in the parking structure and it just doesn't get used. You're still making the payments. You're still paying for an insurance. You've got maintenance if anything breaks, which is more likely if the car's sitting. So the first solution and the first idea is to use a website called Turo. Turo is a car rental website that rivals that of Avis and Hertz. Basically, those companies, they buy the cars. You basically have to choose what they give you. Whereas with Turo, you're renting people's cars. And vice versa, as somebody who has a car, you can rent it out. Now, this is great for a number of reasons because, one, if you're not using the vehicle, this adds a little bit of money to your pocket. 2, it could be the difference of actually paying for your car itself, whether it be paying for the insurance, the monthly note, or even just gas. It could be gas money. And then again, your car stays running. And what I mean by that is when a car's sitting, right, it tends to get bogged down. Things stop working. But with a mechanical engine, if you keep it moving, if it keeps going, the engine tends to stay healthy. Everything tends to stay lubricated. It's good for the car. And at the same time, you don't have to worry about anything going wrong with your car because if it does while somebody's out with the car, Turo has like $1 million protection plan on every rental that goes out. So you have all of these benefits, especially if you're not going to be using that car. All you need to do is coordinate with the person who's renting and you're good to go. That money's in your pocket. The next one is going to be also involving a car, but this one is a little bit more event specific. And this is to do Uber. Now, a lot of times when you're in classes or when you're in school, it doesn't always make sense to go and do like a 4-hour shift for Uber. That makes sense. But the best times to make money are after parties. So you would have to do a little bit of digging, but check when events are going on around your campus, especially if it's a school party. Everybody's going to be Ubering because people are too lazy to walk back or they're too drunk to drive back. And that's a great opportunity, especially if it's a big party. There's going to be lots of Uber drivers. A lot of traffic means that it becomes something called a peak season or like a peak area. They end up charging more. So if you're driving Uber during those peak areas or that peak time, you actually end up getting paid a little bit more because there's higher demand for that lower supply of drivers. So that's another great way for you to make money. And this next one also involves a car. This one is the option of DoorDash. So you can go and actually pick up food for people on campus. College students love to order out. I'm not trying to stereotype. This is what I saw. I could be wrong for a different campus, but any campus I've been to, I just know people are ordering out. And the best way to do that is through DoorDash. There's obviously other options, but hopefully this is the understandable one. Think about it like this. With many states legalizing marijuana, many students are getting something called the munchies. Now, for those of you who don't know, the munchies are a certain type of situation somebody goes through when they're under the influence of marijuana. I don't know if it applies to other drugs, but I know specifically when somebody's under the influence, they tend to become very hungry. In that case, they tend to order food, sometimes lots of it, and when somebody's feeling good, they tend to tip. In a situation like that, you can use DoorDash, especially at night, as another way to earn income with your car while you're on campus. So to summarize the car section of it, you've got Turo, right? You've got Uber, and then you've got DoorDash. But there's one more, the car itself. So if you've got access to some type of building where you have a garage, or you have some access to like an apartment where you're staying that has a garage, you can get into something that is called car flipping. If you are good with your hands and you know how to work on vehicles, I saw many of my friends do this throughout their college career. One of my friends flipped almost 15 cars and paid off a huge chunk of his tuition this way. All he did was take a car, fix it up, drive it until it's sold, and then he sold the car, got another one. A, he always had transportation. B, he was always learning something new. And C, he was making money doing it and taking care of his school at the same time. Now, he was a mechanical engineer, so he also had a career incentive to this, but that doesn't discount any other type of person trying to flip cars. If you think you can do it and you've got the skills, this is a great way for you to make money. You just got to be careful to buy the right car. The next one I'm going to recommend is very similar to the one we just discussed, but it doesn't involve any mode of transportation. This is called shoe flipping. So you've probably seen many people doing this. There's been a lot of news. I think there was a Nike executive whose son ended up using her code, bought a ton of shoes for reselling. He ended up getting a new car off that money, which tells you that there's a lot of money in it. Now, there's a saying that when somebody says a certain market sector is saturated, that just means that a lot of people are making money. Shoe flipping is something that's very similar. Go to a website like StockX. If you can get your hands on inventory, you can get your hands on sellers. The demand to supply ratio is very, very, very volatile, and that means that there's huge opportunities for you to make lots of money very quickly if you buy the right type of shoe. So this is another great option for you. But if you're not into shoes, you're not into cars, you don't have one, you can also get into something called private tutoring. Now, at the end of the day, you're on a college campus. Not everybody's a 4.0 student. Some people need a little bit of extra help. You can utilize the free resources at the library to meet up with the student. You don't have to invite them to your own place. And at the same time, you get to educate people, you get to teach people, and make money at the same time. You don't really need any resources but yourself because of the allotment that campuses usually give you and the fact that it's all just based off knowledge in your head. So keeping all of these ideas in mind, these are just 5 of many that exist. At the end of the day, somebody who's really, really confident is going to be able to execute and be able to use any type of method to make money, preferably legal, to move forward and kind of take care of themselves. But the biggest one that we haven't mentioned on this list would be investing. Now, at the end of the day, with the current climate that surrounds the market and crypto and Dogecoin and GameStop and AMC, it feels like a lotto. And while that may be great while people are making money, within 6 to 12 months, 90% of the hype will be gone because the lotto factor will be gone. People won't be winning. The lotto factor will be gone. People won't be winning consistently. People will start to lose money, and that makes them not trust the market. Many people think the stock market, cryptos, Forex is a scam. Now, granted, there are many of those Forex guys on Instagram, so you got to be careful. But all 3 of those are reasonable ways for you to make money. And the easiest way for you to become proficient is to learn technical charting, is for you to learn trading, is for you to learn how to become involved with investing. See, at the end of the day, you have 24 hours of your time, right? You share the same amount of time with Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs when he was here, Bill Gates, everybody, right? Everybody has the same amount of time. The only difference is what you do to maximize the productivity of that time. And the way to do that is to put your money to work. If you can make your money work for you while you are not, what that does is that gives you the extra 3, 4, 5 hands you need to build your wealth so that you can move exponentially. Otherwise, you're just going to be growing wealth linear. And that doesn't mean you won't be comfortable and you won't be rich. But that does mean that you won't be as in control of your situation as possible. And that's something we all really want to think about. So definitely want to cover, we covered Turo, which is renting out your car when it's not in need. Uber, after parties, so that you can get that extra fare tip and get people home safely, genuinely. There's DoorDash, delivering food to students at night because people are lazy and sometimes people are high. And car flipping, if you're into it. Being able to fix cars, that's kind of a specialty, but there's a lot of profit in it if you are very good at what you do. Shoes flipping, there's a big market for it, a lot of resale opportunities. We've seen it. It's there. The money is there for you. You just have to find those opportunities. And then the last one being like private tutoring. All of these options are great if you're trying to learn and grow as a student, but also grow your wealth at the same time. And ultimately investing, of course, that should be on everybody's list. If you want to learn how to invest, hit that subscribe button. We totally appreciate it. Shoot a comment below if you want us to show any type of video, but anything that you may be curious about, whatever's out there, we'll learn it, we'll teach it, we'll keep growing as a family. With that, have a wonderful day, guys.